Welcome to Helicopter Explainer, coming every weekend courtesy of the Court Helicopter News. We are looking at the new laws that were assented by the President that came into being as the laws of this country. Today we are looking at the National Police Service Amendment Act of 2025. And specifically, we are looking at Section 3. What was amended in Section 3? This is the qualification of who can be an Inspector General of Police. It says in subsection 1, that is 11.1, a person is qualified for appointment as an Inspector General if he has the following qualification. You who is watching and listening Court Helicopter News, do you want to be the next Inspector General of Police? Do you want to be the next Deputy Inspector General of Police? The answer is here. You who is a serving police officer, do you want to rise the ranks to be the Inspector General of Police or a Deputy Inspector General of Police? These are the qualifications. 1. A person is qualified for appointment as an Inspector General of the police, he must be a citizen. Number 1, that person must be a citizen. 2, you must hold a university degree that is recognized in Kenya. You might have a university degree, but it is not recognized in Kenya. If you have gone to university outside, your degree must go to the Council for University Education to ascertain whether that degree is recognized. 3, has had a distinguished career in their respective fields. So you must have a career in your field. You're not going to walk from the shamba and just apply to be an Inspector General of Police. D, he must be, or you must be, compliant with Chapter 6, that is the integrity questions. Are you above a reproach? Those are corruption matters, certificates of good conduct, tax compliance. Do you have the tax compliance? Have you ever been involved or convicted in any matter? Are you insolvent? Are you bankrupt? All those issues. 4, you must have served in a senior management position for at least 15 years and has knowledge and experience in matters related to any of the following disciplines. You must have 15 years in the criminal justice, number 1. Number 2, policy development and implementation. 3, either finance and public administration. 4th, either you have 15 years in strategic management. 5, you either have 15 years experience in security matters. Either you have experience of 15 years in the practice of law. Next, you have 15 years in the field of sociology and or in government. Those are the qualifications for one to be considered to be an Inspector General of Police. It goes further. Therefore, what does this mean? Anybody now can be an Inspector General of Police. Lawyers, sociologists, you can be an Inspector General of Police. You do not need to be a policeman to grow to be an Inspector General of Police. But if you have this, then you'll be disqualified. Get what will disqualify you? A member of parliament or a county assembly, a governor or a deputy governor, you can never be an Inspector General of Police. If you are an MCA, if you are a woman rep, if you are an elected member, if you are a governor, if you are a deputy governor, wewe sahau. You will never be an Inspector General of Police. Number 2, if you have ever served as a member of parliament, county assembly, trade union, or an office in a political party in Kenya in the preceding 5 years, the day the application for the next Inspector General of Police, when it will be announced, if you have ever been a member of parliament, if you have ever served in a political party, if you have ever been a member of a trade union, teachers of Kupet, teachers of NAT, those who are KMPDU trade unionists, if you have ever been a trade unionist, be 5 years before the advertisement, you will not qualify to be an Inspector General of Police. So anybody who was in those offices 5 years, if you want to get those jobs, resign today. 5 years, after 5 years, then you are eligible to contest. D talks of if you have ever violated the Constitution. Have you ever been convicted? Have you ever violated the Constitution? If you have violated any of the constitutional provisions, you will never be an Inspector General of Police. E says if one is a undischarged bankrupt, are you bankrupt and you have not been discharged from that bankrupt, you will never be an Inspector General of Police. The last clause is the most crucial. It is thunder. Anybody who is above 60 years, anybody above 60 years, like Danstan Omari, I'm now above 60 years, I will never be an Inspector General of Police. So anybody who wants to be an Inspector General of Police, your only age limit is between 18 years and 60 years. Remember, the Inspector General of Police serves only for one term of 4 years. So if there is any candidate who is going to apply when the current Inspector General of Police retires, that person must be below 60 years. Therefore, it must automatically be somebody who is below 56 years so that he can serve his 4 years term uninterrupted and he retires. What does this mean? Extensions of contracts by the executive. If somebody who has reached 60 years, yet the government extends that contract. Now the law has put a stop to that. I don't know why anybody is making a noise. This gives our youth, this gives our young people in the police force the chance to grow so that they can become Inspector Generals of Police. What about the DIG, the position of the Deputy Inspector General of Police? The qualifications are the same, but they have put now these conditions. Wherever a vacancy arises in the office of the Deputy Inspector General, the President shall, on the recommendation of the Commission for the Deputy Inspector General of Police, the law provides that there shall be 2 Deputy Inspector Generals of Police. One in charge of the Kenya Police Service, and 2 in charge of the administrative police services. What is now the law in filling those 2 positions? The requirements are the same. Professional and academic qualifications for the DIG are the same like the Inspector General of Police. But two things have now come in. One is that the Deputy Inspector General of Police shall be appointed for one term of 5 years and shall not be eligible for reappointment to the same position. So the DIG has now a one term that is non-renewable, 5 years. Once you are a DIG, that's the Deputy Inspector General, you serve one term, it is not renewable, you go home to do with the rest. Number two, where a vacancy arises in the office of the Deputy Inspector General, the President shall, on the recommendation of the Commission, within 14 days from the date the vacancy arises, appoint a suitably qualified person to serve as a Deputy Inspector General. So, whenever the vacancy arises, it is the President, upon advice from the National Police Service Commission, who will recommend who will be appointed as the DIG. The DIG does not need to apply. The DIG does not apply for the job. It is the President who recommends. The name of the DIG does not go to Parliament. The name of the DIG does not get vetting. It is the President who recommends within 14 days who will take over the position of the DIG. Remember, the Inspector General of Police must go because he holds a constitutional office. He goes to Parliament for vetting. The Inspector General of Police sits at the National Security Council, that is the National Security. Thank you very much and see you.